My name is James Williams Jr. The last thing that I was going to talk about was the CNN reports that I just done. So this is basically the recap of all that shit. I know what you're thinking. Why, James? Why would you want to go through recapping all of this shit? You just called everybody a racist in your last video. Yes, I did. Yes, I fucking did. And we might all not be racist. But we're not really trying to fight racism, are we? Truth. None of us are making an effort to have classes to prevent racism. None of us. There's no public racial awareness unless something goes wrong. There's no class for that. If there was a class for that, I'd have a job. Yeah, really, I would have a fucking job. Because here's how you decipher racist. Racism, one, I don't care who you are, you're not born racist. You're taught it. Alright? From the meanest of the mean to the nicest of the nice, you are not born racist, you are taught it. You are taught it at a young age, and it is wrong for people to teach their kids to be racist, but nevertheless, it is done. There are mad racists, and we teach it to them every day. And why did I say we? I will tell you why I said we. Racism does not escape anyone. You understand me? There are racist Native Americans, there are racist black people, and there are racist white people, and there's an equal amount of them all. So, I want to marry a woman of a different ethnicity. I will show you her picture, but I promised her that I would never do that. I want to marry a woman of a different ethnicity because the world needs more people like me. People who are multicultural, people who are multi-ethnic, people who can walk in between all three cultures, accept who they are, and love it. Now, I will be the first to tell you, there's no way in hell I will ever be white. Alright? There's not enough face makeup. Well, okay, there might be enough face makeup because Eddie Murphy did it back in the early 80s or whatever. When he was a white man, and he was white, and he walked with his ass extremely tight. You guys can Google it. Eddie Murphy is a white man. It's on YouTube somewhere. I almost can guarantee you. It's also on one of his videos. Anyway, moving on. We teach our youth racism. Point blank period. We teach it to them. They're not born like that. You put kids in a room together, no matter how they're dressed. They can be dressed as Muslims. They can be dressed as Shaolin monks. They can be dressed as anything that they want. And not one racial slur from kindergarten to the second grade will be said until one kid has been poisoned at home and comes to school and spreads the poison around. But they don't spread it to kids who don't look like them. They spread it to kids who do look like them. Now, I say this because I've lived this. And why is this important with the CNN thing? Well, most of the CNN news footage that I want y'all guys to see, it's like maybe each video is between 2 to 5 minutes long. You should probably go check it out before I finish watching this, because this is like the ultimate one for tonight. We teach our kids to be prejudiced. We teach our kids to be racist. And believe it or not, whether you fight that urge to do it, we still have racist and prejudiced thoughts, even me. But how you act on that thought is what separates you from being what you stand against. Now, morally, we should all take a step back and realize what happened. So I'll tell you what happened. For those who don't know, let's start with African American history. When you are taught African American history in grade school until high school, they give you 5% of the truth. And in that 5% of the truth, they basically forget to tell you that it wasn't white people who took you as slaves. You were bought from black people who didn't think your ancestral tribes were worth shit. So they decided you can take that eastern quadrant of black people. I'm not going to use the N-word yet, because they weren't the N-word until they got to America, when the name was cokily toned. So we're going to take all of these tribes from this part, this part, this part, and this part. All the big kings and chiefs who were at war with little kingdoms, and who the little kingdoms were basically just fucking a nuisance, decided, hey, We got a way to get rid of these motherfuckers. Let's do it. So they let the white guys in, making trades. Boom. Took those guys right on the fuck up out of Africa. And just a side note, because I have met a few Africans who were badass, who didn't hate black people. And I have met a bunch of Africans who were badass and can't stand black people. So black people who want to go back to Africa, good luck with that. You know, I've learned, I'm 43, man. I don't miss a beat on some things. I don't judge Africa for not wanting nothing to do with us. We know that we were your dogs, and we know that we really don't have a place there. She's texting me. Sorry. We know we don't have a place there. And if you don't know that you don't have a place there, well, let me put it to you this way. To the Africans I've met from high school to college that like black people, thank you. To the Africans I've met from high school to college that don't like black people, to hell with you. We didn't ask to be ancestors or descendants of slaves. Your people sold us. We didn't ask for that shit. You were just blessed that your ancestors weren't some of the ones that were sold into slavery. But yet you hate us. You also hate the people of Jamaica. You also hate the people of Trinidad. You also hate the black people of Brazil. You also hate the black Aborigines. So who the hell has the racist problem here? Yeah. So if I have to go to any country because I have to get out of America because I'm two-toned or I'm multiracial, I'm going to Australia. Because there are black people there. They're called Aborigines. And I think I'd rather go meet them than go hang out in a country who would rather see me dead because I'm a multicultural person. And they don't think that I'm black because I have a lot more Native American features than black. So yeah, you know, I really don't want to take a chance on going to Africa so they might lynch me. Okay, so you got that part. So now, that's what they don't teach you in school. What they do teach you is that somehow or another they teach you that white men are evil and they kidnap black people and they brought them over here in a boat for 100 and blah 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 days, and if you were attached to a dead man and they couldn't unfree your chain, they flung your ass in the water and you drowned. And they drowned a lot of slaves. That part's true. They drowned a lot of slaves that just didn't make it, and then there was starvation. They probably ate a couple of slaves too. But you know, there are some things that you just have to sugarcoat that you just can't tell children. So hopefully there's no children watching this. But you know, they don't give you the whole 1000% of the truth, and that's just wrong on every level. You know, I'm just putting that out there. I'm not trying to be a dick, but you know, it would behoove you all to know our history. Let me tone down Joe Kenda real quick. Excuse me. Now, let's flip the script to my other ancestral home, America, and Native Americans. Okay, so as you know, my father's mother was Native American, and my father's father was black, and my father's mother before her was Native American, Grandma Ada Wallace Ford. Grandma Ada Wallace Ford used to tell me mad fucking stories about tribal stuff. Okay, granted, I was 6 to 12 and I don't remember all of it in direct and good detail, which is why my Love 13 book, I had to wing a lot of the Native American stuff. So, Native Americans, great people, discovered this land just wandering, so basically we found it by mistake, and we all decided that from one tribe, we all branched out into many tribes. And in doing so, we, for about 1,000 years, maybe more, maybe less, had the lay of this land. And in doing so, we procreated and we lived fruitful and multiplied. And we went all over America and Canada and Iceland and Alaska, all the way down to the southern tips of South America. No one's living in Antarctica, and if they are, that's new to me. But we went all over. We spawned all over the greater Americas, and including Canada before it was Canada. Yeah, we were everywhere. That's why Canada calls them the First Nation. All right? So, what went wrong? Niceness, kindness, the belief that the Great Spirit has made this world for everyone to share with everyone. Yeah, the Great Spirit didn't tell us that we would get stabbed in the fucking back like 1,000 times. The Great Spirit didn't tell us that we would not have citizenship in a country which we settled, and we're here 1,000 years before the Europeans and the French and the Spanish. We settled that shit. All tribes, and even though tribes were at war with each other, but there hasn't been a society in the world that has not fought its own kind. Whites have fought whites, blacks have fought blacks, Asians have fought Asians. Now, let me explain this so that you guys don't understand your history. Mexican people, you need to know this. The reason why you are Spanish is because of Cortez and how many times his people pillaged and raped your ancestors. Which is why the Incans, the Mayans, and the Aztec slightly, almost completely perished. They're not dead because they're still living within you, but their tribal cultures and all that shit destroyed. Guess what? They're Asian. And the only reason you guys look a tiny bit different than everyone else is because most of you have Spanish in you, and your Spanish ancestors from Spain is why you're Spanish. And most of those ancestors forced themselves on your Aztec, Mayan, and Incan ancestors. So, like it or not, you guys are also Asian. I'm sorry. It fucked me up when I found out that Native Americans were Asian. So, since Mayans, Incan, and Aztecs are also Native Americans, and yes, they migrated down to South America from North America. So, yeah, they're fucking Asian. Donald Trump, suck gas on that. Anyway, and that was gas, not ass. Or, though maybe that might be a better flavor. But anyway, you know, the three primary races, mongrels are the most popular races, and they count Asians as mongrels, and black people are nigras, and white people are Caucasian. Don't ask me who came up with this shit. I just read a lot. I gotta take a phone call real quick.